محمد رسول الله.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to another Proofs of Prophethood video. In this one I'm going to be talking about the Battle of the Trench, also known as the Battle of the Confederates. The Muslims made a lot of enemies shortly after they established a state in Medina. It wasn't too long after then that multiple tribes gathered around Medina in order to obliterate the Muslims. Al-Qadhi Abdul Jabbar mentions that the disbelievers were around 20,000 in number. I've seen figures closer to 10,000. Whichever the case, the Muslims were around 3,000 and they were vastly outnumbered. To make things worse, the Jews of Bani Qurayza wanted to side with the disbelievers and betray the Muslims. Now, to prevent the disbelievers from absolutely overwhelming the Muslims built a trench in front of Medina in order to prevent the onslaught from happening. That worked quite well, and they did prevent an onslaught from occurring. Now, when the Muslims saw disbelievers coming in hordes and different groups, a prophecy came to mind, a prophecy that was mentioned back in video number 10, so do check that out if you want to refresh your memory. The Quran records their reaction to the prophecy coming to pass. And when the believers saw the companies, they said, "This is what Allah and His Messenger had promised us, and Allah and His Messenger spoke truth." And it increased them only in faith and acceptance. Al-Qadhi Abdul Jabbar states that the polytheists decided in one night that they would come together and attack the Muslims all together in an all-out attack during the next day. Then Allah sent a powerful wind, ripping off their tents and scaring off their horses along with them away. The Quran records the event. "O you who have believed, remember the favor of Allah upon you when armies came to attack you, and we sent upon them a wind, and armies of angels you did not see, and ever is Allah of what you do seeing. Remember when they came at you from above you and from below you, and when eyes shifted in fear, and hearts reached the throats, and you assumed about Allah various assumptions. There the believers were tested and shaken with a severe shaking." As we can see, the verses speak of the desperate situation the Muslims found themselves in. If it were not for the wind, they probably wouldn't have survived. Al-Qadhi Abdul Jabbar points out that this wind was not some sort of natural occurrence. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala attributes this wind to Himself, a wind that defeated disbelievers. If this was a normal wind, if this was some sort of natural phenomenon, God would not attribute this action to Himself. Moreover, this verse was recited, it was used as evidence against disbelievers. It was used to strengthen the faith of the believers. If this was just some sort of natural wind, then this wouldn't be used to support the Prophet's claim of prophethood. And after the polytheists retreated, the Prophet, peace be upon him, made another prophecy that of course came to pass. Sulaiman bin Surad narrates, on the day of Al-Ahzab, i.e. the clans, the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "After this battle we will go to attack them, and they will not come to attack us." And with that, the dynamics of the battles between the Muslims and Quraysh shifted completely. The Muslims were no longer on the defensive. From then on, they were on the offensive. That's all I have for this one. I'll see you guys in the next one. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
محمد رسول الله.